Listen, to be honest with you, he brought a lot of light that I didn't know about when it came to the sanctioning fees. And it seemed like one big extortion game. I seen Floyd say it before, belts collect dust, the money is what really matters. So as long as he gets his money and everything else, I think we already know he's a perennial world champion, probably the pound champion right now. So it doesn't really matter about the belts, even though you want the belts.
Terence Crawford, sitting at the absolute peak of the boxing world, just shocked everyone, not with his fist, but with a decision that sent shockwaves through the entire sport. He made it loud and clear. He's not paying a $300,000 ransom for a belt he already earned. He told the WBC to kick rocks. And he's not the only one calling them out. Hip-hop legend Camron has jumped into the discussion, exposing this fee system for what he calls an extortion scheme. This isn't a simple business disagreement. It's a full-blown rebellion. And Crawford is proving that in 2025, the fighter is the prize, not the belt.
Terence Crawford is no longer undisputed, and the reason why is everything that's wrong with boxing. The WBC has stripped Terence Crawford of his belt. Was he defeated? No, never. Did he test positive for steroids? Of course not. What he did do was refuse to pay them $300,000 for basically existing. Sanctioning bodies are the people who own all the belts. WBC, WBO, WBA, IBF. They're famously corrupt, make rules that make no sense, create mandatories, have rules that apply more to some fighters and less to others, and they deserve no money.
In early December, the WBC officially stripped Terence Crawford of his super middleweight title. Not because he got knocked out, not because he was outboxed. No, Crawford lost his belt because he refused to wire $300 to the WBC after defeating Canelo Alvarez. After earning one of the biggest wins of his career, the sanctioning body came looking for their cut.
Comply with the rules, then he moves up to super middle and makes the fight of the century, beats Canelo, makes $50 million or around that. The WBC absolutely is not going to charge 3% of such an amount. We made a very clear 0.6%, which is $300,000, with $225,000 going to the Jose Sulaiman Boxers Fund, which is to help former fighters in need. And it is just regrettable. Not even a thank you or I'm sorry, taking a different route, no response. I wish him the best. But this is not. The WBC is huge, it's great, it's about greatness, and I'm relieved.
Even after a supposed discount, they still demanded nearly $350,000. Most fighters just grit their teeth and pay the fee so they can keep undisputed next to their name.
Got a lot to say about me not paying him $300,000 plus another $100K something for sanction fees, right? Then he gonna tell me I ain't even apologize? Like, who the fuck you think I am? Boy, you better slap your...
But Crawford isn't like most fighters. He went public with a response as sharp and damaging as his counterpunching. He told the WBC straight up to kick rocks. His argument was simple and devastating. The WBC green belt is just an accessory. He reminded fans that the Ring Magazine belt, the True People's Championship, is completely free. Crawford made it clear, he is the one risking his life in the ring, not the executive sending invoices. By refusing to pay, he didn't just save money. He challenged the entire power structure of modern boxing. This bold move immediately caught Camron's attention. Never afraid to speak his mind, Camron called the entire sanctioning fee system what he believes it is, extortion. And when you follow his logic, it's hard to disagree.
I'll pay you $300,000. What makes you so motherfucking better than any of the other sanctioned bodies? Huh? Answer that question. What makes you better than the WBO, the IBF, or the WBA? Everybody accepted what I was giving them. But you, the WBC, think that you better than everybody, don't you? So since you, the WBC, and you got the fucking green belt, which don't mean fucking shit, fucking real belt is the ring belt, which is free, motherfucker. What are you talking about? You want me to pay you more than the other sanctioned bodies because you feel like you better than them. How in the world all the sanctioned bodies agreed to the same amount, but you sit your motherfucking ass up there and say that I need to apologize to you? The fuck? You can take the fucking belt.
Camron explained that the whole power dynamic has flipped. Years ago, fighters needed the belts to get TV time and big checks. But today, stars like Crawford are the TV time. The belt doesn't make the fighter anymore. The fighter makes the belt. Camron argued that Crawford saying no exposed everything. The media coverage around him getting stripped generated more buzz for Crawford than paying the fee ever would have. It proved Cameron's point perfectly.
Listen, to be honest with you, he brought a lot of light that I didn't know about when it came to the sanctioning fees. And it seemed like one big extortion game. I seen Floyd say it before, belts collect dust, the money is what really matters. So as long as he gets his money and everything else, I think we already know he's a perennial world champion, probably the pound-for-pound champion right now. So it doesn't really matter about the belts, even though you want the belts. I also seen him post all the belts that he had in his house. So right now, I think it's more about money for him than having the belts.
The organizations need the fighters, far more than the fighters need the organizations. When someone like Camron publicly backs a boxer's business move, it stops being a sports story. It becomes a cultural moment. He compared the situation to a farmer's harvest. The fighters do all the planning and growing, while organizations try to attach themselves at the last minute and demand a percentage. To drive the point home, Camron even referenced the philosophy of Floyd Money Mayweather. Back then, people thought Floyd was arrogant, but Camron says Floyd was building a blueprint for independence, and Crawford is following the same playbook. He knows his bank account doesn't care about a gold-plated leather strap. By adopting this mindset, Crawford is proving he's far beyond the belts. Fans across social media agree, and now the sanctioning bodies are panicking because
Floyd, November 4th, you're finally fighting for the undisputed title. I mean, share your thoughts on that.
I'm fighting for the WBC title. I'm not fighting for the undisputed title. I'm fighting for the WBC title.
Yeah, but if you look at it, he beat the man who was undisputed, the man who beat the man.
I only go by stats. I'm not fighting for the undisputed title because I'm not paying 3 sanctioning fees. I'm fighting for the WBC welterweight championship.
their entire business model depends on fighters believing the belts actually matter. If the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world decides the title has zero value, then the value of that title really does drop to zero overnight. Camron connected the dots between Floyd's past and Crawford's present, showing that this isn't an emotional outburst, it's an evolution. The prize is the check, not the trinket.
I want to say this right now about the sport of boxing. I don't want everybody at home to hear me when I say this. A belt, I'm tired and I'm at home, and this goes for any company. I don't care if it's Top Rank, if it's Golden Boy, if it's Mayweather Promotions, if it's PBC. There's too many champions in the sport of boxing right now. Too many champions. It's not a such thing. It's a super champion. Not at all. And I'm not taking nothing away from no fighter. It's too many belts. And the reason why is too. Let me tell people what's going on in the sport of boxing, why there's so many different titles and so many different belts. People don't know you have to pay for every belt that you win, there's a sanctioning fee. So now if a fighter wins an interim belt, he has to pay a sanctioning fee. If a fighter has just the regular belt, he has to pay a sanctioning fee. Then if a fighter is a super champion, then he has to pay a sanctioning fee. This is not good for the sport of boxing. Well, the sport of now, when a fighter fights, every fighter is a champion. Now, after you see no belts, it's like a fighter winning a winner.
Of course, the WBC didn't stay quiet. President Mauricio Suleiman fired back, claiming Crawford's refusal was a slap in the face. He insisted the $300,000 fee was actually a big discount from their standard 3%. And he tried to soften the situation by saying that $225,000 of it would have gone to a charity fund for retired fighters.
Say that one more time.
He was mentioning on Twitter when he was, responding to all that stuff. He was saying, hey, I would have beat you, Oscar. I would have beat Pac-Man. Do you agree? If they would have fought in their primes, he would have beat Oscar or beat Pac-Man?
I remember he was with Bob Arum trying to fight Pac-Man. And Bob Arum wouldn't set that fight up. So to me, that's, even though we didn't know Crawford like we know him today, when I seen that back then, I seen there was a problem why Bob Arum wouldn't make that fight happen. And I was saying, now both under Bob Arum, what the fuck you not making the fight happen for? So he might have some truth to that. I have no idea. Oscar was a hell of a fighter as well. But as you can see, Terence Crawford's a hell of a fighter, 42-0. He's not that for a reason, but I think it'd be interesting. It's always a woulda, coulda, shoulda. But I know one thing. I think they was definitely, this promoters was ducking that Pac-Man smoke. I don't know about Oscar, but definitely about it.
This was clearly meant to flip the script, to make Crawford look selfish, and the organization look generous. But fans weren't buying it. That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss future uploads. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Whose side are you on? Stay tuned, and we'll catch you in the next one.